Tonight, history made. Donald Trump becoming the first former president in American history to be criminally convicted. New York City, where he built his fortune, his name embossed on countless buildings. Now the same city finding him guilty, making him a convicted felon. The 12 New Yorkers on the jury finding Trump guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Prosecutors proving that Trump falsified checks, invoices, and business records to conceal a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels to keep the story from voters just days before the 2016 election. The historic verdict coming after nearly 10 hours of deliberations. Inside the courtroom, an extraordinary moment. Judge Juan Merchan had indicated he was going to excuse the jury for the day, when suddenly jurors signaled they had reached a verdict. It was emotional whiplash, the former president's mood shifting dramatically, the jury avoiding eye contact with him as they took their seats inside the courtroom, the foreperson reading the verdict count by count. At count 4, the former president shook his head, and then 30 other guilty counts were read. Guilty! Cheers could be heard in the crowd outside of the courthouse as the verdict was being handed down. Guilty! An outraged Trump speaking just outside the courtroom moments after he was convicted.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
Trump maintaining his innocence.
We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man.
In true New York fashion, the former president caught in rush hour traffic before returning to Trump Tower, his fist raised in defiance. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who brought the 34 charges against Trump, speaking out after the historic verdict.
The 12 everyday jurors vowed to make a decision based on the evidence and the law, and the evidence and the law alone. And while this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor.
Trump's Republican defenders repeatedly called this a political persecution.
The president's actions in this matter were previously reviewed and no charges were filed. Why is that? Because there's no crime here. It's painfully obvious that we're now 6 months out from an election day. And that's the reason. It's all about politics, and everybody can see that.
The trial lasting 7 weeks, 22 witnesses taking the stand, including the woman at the center of it all, Stormy Daniels, who spoke about the trial earlier this year on The View.
And I relish the day that I get to face him and speak my truth.
Daniels alleged in a 60 Minutes interview that she'd had sex with Trump in 2006, just months after his wife Melania had given birth to their son Barron, something Trump denies.
Did he mention his wife or child at all in this?
I asked, and he brushed it aside, said, oh, yeah, you know, don't worry about that. We have separate rooms and stuff.
Her lawyer releasing a statement after the historic verdict. Stormy is relieved that this case is now over. No man is above the law. These jurors should be respected and appreciated. Trump's former fixer and lawyer, Michael Cohen, also testifying. Trump's defense team calling him the greatest liar of all time. Cohen also reacting to Trump's verdict in a statement. Today is an important day for accountability and the rule of law. Trump never testifying in his own defense. The former president still faces dozens of felony counts in 3 other criminal cases, including his mishandling of sensitive classified government documents, an alleged plot to subvert the transfer of power in the 2020 elections, and an alleged scheme to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. Trump denies all wrongdoing. And late tonight, he attended a political fundraising event in New York City, his campaign saying the guilty verdict has fired up donors for his 2024 presidential race.